Today we're going to be talking about 15 players you can get off the waiver wire going into week 10. These players are going to help you set your lineups, give you some depth for the rest of the season, some stash plays sprinkled in there as well, and overall players that you're going to be needing to look at as we start the week. But what you need to do right now is click that subscribe button. Tap it with your finger on your phone. Click it with your mouse on your computer, because we're going hot and heavy on waivers this week. We're letting you know who to pick up, who to go after, who to stash. We're helping you set your lineups. We're helping you win those trades. We're helping you win your rookie drafts and everything else. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Let's dig into these 15 players real quick here. Kyler Murray's back. He's reinstated. He's going to be on the field. And he should have been already stashed. He should have been stashed away, because I've seen that with a lot of teams, with a lot of conversations I've had. But just in case he's not, remember, this guy is a walking QB1 in fantasy, even in bad games where he's throwing picks. He's off the mark. His rushing production gets him very good in fantasy. QB1 status, high-end QB2 on the low, really. Very few QB3 games. Very steady. You can make a case you don't know what you're coming back to with him being out this long. You could probably make that case. But on the flip side of that, he's free off waivers. Might have to spend some fab, or you got him stashed for a bit. Kyler Murray's back. The experience is here. Let's see what he's going to do. Tank Dell is that dude. CJ Stroud is that dude. Tank Dell, the rest of the wide receivers in this offense, they're going to take turns being that stud while the other guys get targets as well. And that's just part of this offense, because CJ Stroud doesn't care. He will toss it downfield, and he does not care if you're open or even if it's tight coverage. He's going to fit it in there, and he's going to push it downfield. It was a Tank Dell week, and he might have some ups and downs, but the ups are going to be up. They're going to be up. They're going to be grandiose. This is what, his third or fourth 20-point PPR performance. This guy makes fantasy points happen. CJ Stroud fuels it, and you want some Tank Dell. Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell's here. He has arrived. He's arrived. We got that 4.37 speed. He is the name to get off the waiver wire this week. You're going to have to spend a lot, because the running back position has been ugly on waivers for the last month and a half. And I can tell you this because I got to talk about him every week. And now we got a new name prop up here. And the price is up there to win off the fab. It's incredibly high. I hope you stashed him when I told you to stash and held on tight. But Keaton Mitchell's back. You're going to have to pay up a bit. But he's going to have some upside for the rest of the season. Because when you have 4.37 speed and you're seeing touches, he's going to be seeing more touches going forward, because you do not have a game like that as a rookie and not see more touches going forward. He's going to have some upside. We got a matchup here against the Browns that may be a little bit rocky. And if it is, you might be able to catch him back on the cheap. Maybe gets tossed back to the waiver wire. If that happens, snatch him up. Get him if that does happen. Taysom Hill, you play him until he runs bad. And right now, he's been running pretty good. 12 points in week 6, 16 in week 7, 22 in week 8, 22 last week in week 9. He's been on a roll, and he goes on runs. Historically, he goes on a tear, scoring fantasy points, and then the well runs dry. You pick him up, and you run him till the well runs dry. Once it starts running dry, you know it's probably going to be over, because historically, that's how his fantasy production runs. But enjoy him while he's scoring fantasy points. And while he's doing that, he should be rostered. Jackson Smith-Njigba, first-round rookie, high-end prospect, high-end talent, and he's starting to get it done. Last 3 games, 18 targets, a 21.2% target share. That is on the up for him. It was at 20% earlier in the year, 6.48 so he's not getting deep targets, but in his last 3 games, he scored 12 or more PPR fantasy points. That is something to hang your hat on. He's getting more involved in offense. DK Metcalf was hurt in one of those, but still, he is showing some signs of life, as he should, as a high-end rookie. Now we're looking at Rico Dowdle. If something happens to Pollard, everybody's going to be looking at Dowdle. That's just the story here. If Pollard goes out, Rico Dowdle is going to be the guy getting the touches here, and everybody's going to run to him off waivers. If you got a spot to speculate with, then Dowdle could be a guy to go after, could be a lottery ticket as a wait-and-see option. DeMario Douglas came in here and got some targets, getting a 19.8% target share in his last 3 games, 80% route participation rate, 37 air yards per game, though. We need deeper targets, but the volume's there. Last 3 games, 6 targets, 7 targets, 7 targets. So he's getting volume, and volume is what we chase. Last week, 10 fantasy points. With Kendrick Bourne out with the ACL, we should see Douglas consistently getting work going forward. Zamir White, same thing as Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle. If Jacobs goes out, Zamir White goes up. Same with Amir Abdullah, but I wouldn't be running for Amir Abdullah. I'd be chasing that Zamir White upside since he's a recent 4th-round pick with high-end athleticism. Jacobs has an 80.5% opportunity share of the offense. If he's gone, you're going to see a lot of touches get distributed there, and Zamir White's going to get some of them. Some usage around the goal line, the short yardage situation, plus a little bit more. Last 3 games for Noah Brown has been looking good. 16 targets, 18.6% target share, 80.7 route participation rate. Robert Woods was out. But when we look at the Texans as a whole, they're just going to be up and down with these wide receivers because C.J. Stroud doesn't really care, and he's going to toss it to you. He's going to throw it downfield. And if you're out there running routes, you got an opportunity here. We're talking about Robert Woods. We're talking about Nico Collins. We're talking about Tank Dell. We're talking about Schultz. We're talking about anybody running routes in this offense has a chance to pop off. So if you have a hope and a prayer and you see the Texans in a juicy matchup, you just throw that wide receiver in and close your eyes because C.J. Stroud can get it done for you. Same with Noah Brown, Tank Dell. We've seen him with Nico Collins. Robert Woods has had some games, but nothing to the boom like Brown had or Dell or Collins. But still, any wide receiver, any tight end running routes, you're probably going to have a lottery ticket there. Now we're seeing Ty Chandler get some buzz. Cam Akers out for the year. Madison gets about a 70% share of the opportunity there. Ty Chandler's got some speed to burn. Same thing. Insurance policy could go up in stock if something happens to Madison. Now we're looking at Romeo Dabis. He has been sitting on waivers every week, and he's a guy that gets picked up, gets dropped, picked up, gets dropped. Last week didn't splash, but prior to that, pretty productive. 17 targets in his last 3 games, 17.5% target share. The thing about these Packers wide receivers, they take turns being the guy. One guy's a stud, one guy's mid, one guy just duds out for the week, and they just take their turns. You just gamble on this offense a little bit. You'll get something out of it over time. Zack Shanet, his snap share is increasing. He outsnapped Kenneth Walker in back-to-back weeks. Also, this last game wasn't great as it was against the Ravens. The Seahawks was behind during most of those games. Kenneth Walker has been beating him in touches. He's not an exciting player to pick up right now, but the waiver wire at running back has not been exciting either. So there's not much to go after here other than Keaton Mitchell and a bunch of other jabroni running backs. But again, if the running back depth chart breaks here in Seattle, Zack Shanet could be seeing more opportunities. Antonio Gibson has been cut in a lot of leagues. He sees a lot of work in the passing game. Got you 12 fantasy points last week, 43.6% snap share, and a 35.5% opportunity share on the year. So he is getting some work, just about as much work as some of those other jabroni running backs on the waiver wire. And that being said, he's got more pop in the step. He's got more juice, and he's using the passing game. So you may want to look at him. Kahlil Shakur is seeing more workload, and it's by the week. More routes ran, more snaps ran. With Dawson Knox out for the season, this team has to use 11 personnel more. That being said, Kahlil Shakur is going to be on the field more. And with him being an ancillary piece of this offense, it's going to be boom or bust for him. But we could see some booms due to the nature of this offense. Quinton Johnston here had another game where he wasn't productive, but the work rate is up there. 82% of the snaps last night, 95% of the routes. So again, in a plus matchup, not a game against a tough defense against the Jets. You may want to look at him to start. You may want to look at him to pick up. because we do have some good things trending up with him. We're starting to see him run more routes, more snaps, which is going to eventually lead to opportunities. Josh Palmer's on IR. Quinton Johnston's on the outside, on the boundary, getting snaps, getting routes. That could lead to something in which could help you on later in the season. Those are 15 players that we're looking to pick up off waivers this week as we roll into week 10. Let me know who you're picking up off the waiver wire right now in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button. Stop missing out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.